Hi, today we'll be doing a code on radio buttons, or sorry, not radio buttons, checkboxes. So we'll start with two classes. I've created one class called style pane, and the other is just main. So we'll create two classes. We'll demonstrate the use of checkboxes, and we'll also create a text object, and then we'll change that text from bold to italic. We'll change the font size, I think, and then we'll change the font style as well, so we'll change the actual font. So we'll start with this class here, style pane. So we'll say public class style pane, and then we'll extend, so extends VBox. So above here we'll import some stuff, so we'll import JavaFX.event.actionEvent. We'll import JavaFX.geometry.pos. JavaFX.scene.control. .checkbox. Import JavaFX.scene. .layout. .hbox. Same for VBox. Sorry, it's a new keyboard. Not used to this keyboard, so we'll import JavaFX.scene.text.font. So text.text, did we do that? No, we didn't, we skipped it. So we'll just do text.text, so import JavaFX.scene.text.text. We did text.font. So we'll import JavaFX.scene.text.font posture. And we'll import JavaFX.scene.text.font weight. And that's all. So you don't have to do it that way. You could just Shift Alt enter, like after you write it, but I guess it works out to be the same thing, so that's okay. So we'll just do private. We'll create some private variables. So private, we'll create a text, just a plain text to be displayed. So private text phrase. And we'll create some checkboxes. So private checkbox. You do that by just referencing the class. So private checkbox. We'll call one bold checkbox. And we'll call the other one italic checkbox. And we'll just do everything in the constructor. So public style pane. No parameters. So we'll say phrase we'll say phrase equals new text, and then we'll put a string in here. say bold or italic. Then we'll say phrase.set font new font. We'll just say Helvetica. And then we'll set font to size 36. So this time we're calling the set font method. Last time in the Fahrenheit pane, we set font to just the font size. So we set font equals new font 10. And then we set font to font. This time we're just saying we're just calling dot set font, right? And we're just setting the font right away to the string what font we want to be in the size, so we're not just passing in font. So it's different this way. It's actually kind of easier this way, because you can do the size and the type you want in one line. So after that we'll do a bold checkbox. So we created a checkbox, we called it bold. Bold checkbox. We'll set it equal to new checkbox. And inside the checkbox is what you put, what you want it to be called, like what string you want to be on that checkbox. So we'll just say bold. Then we'll say bold checkbox. No, bold checkbox dot. Whoops. Bold checkbox dot set on action. We'll call this dot process checkbox action. You could just say process checkbox. No, that's fine. We'll just leave it like that. So this is a method that we haven't created yet, so we will create it. Right now it doesn't know what that method is. Then we'll say italic checkbox equals new checkbox. And we'll set it to italic. And we'll say italic checkbox dot set on action. This process checkbox action. Whoops. Actually, we can say action event here. Process checkbox action event. Then we'll just say HBox options equals new HBox. So we'll put a bold checkbox inside that HBox, and then we'll put italic checkbox beside it. So they'll be laid out. HBox lays out nodes horizontally. It lays out the nodes horizontally. So after that, we'll set the alignment of it. HBox. Where are we? HBox options equals new HBox. Then we'll say options dot set alignment to POS dot center. Then options dot set spacing to say like 15 pixels between the checkboxes. Set spacing between the checkbox nodes or checkbox controls. Then we'll set spacing for the whole node. So set spacing for the whole VBox, and then above was the spacing for the HBox. So here we'll so what was it again? It was the HBox, right? Set spacing, no, it's for the VBox. So set spacing for the VBox. Oh, like within the text and checkboxes. Controls, checkbox controls. Then we'll say get children. Then here use the dot operator again. Dot add all, and then we add phrase, which is the text. And then options, which is the horizontal box, HBox, sorry. So we set the we added, so get children dot add all is the VBox. Yeah, it's a VBox, so we're adding phrase at the top and options at the bottom. Is that correct? Phrase at the top and then options at the bottom. Yeah, because I think it adds them top to bottom for the VBox. It doesn't add them, doesn't stack them from the bottom. It goes down from the top, I believe, but you can play with it to just make sure. And then, so that's all for that. We'll just save that. Style pane, yeah, that's it. So this framework it has some stuff that you use later on in like JavaScript and HTML and CSS, like the way they format it. Some of the things are the same. But in all programming languages, you'll see similar things. We'll do those videos like way later on, after we finish data structures, and then we'll have Linux and C, a little bit of Linux and C, or not a little bit, like a decent amount. And then after, I think we have Python. So we'll be busy for a while. So then after all that, we'll eventually get into JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. So after that, we'll do public. We'll do some Android stuff too. So public void process check. This is our event handler method. So process checkbox action. Checkbox action event. So yeah, so public void process checkbox action event, and it's an event handler, so it takes an action event parameter. We can just call it E. This is our, I guess we can, yeah, the E's fine. We'll call it event, but you can also call it E if you want. This is our event handler method. Oops, I don't need capitals. Event handler method. So event handler method, and open square braces, brackets. So font weight. Wait, did we create a font weight already? No, we didn't. So font weight equals font weight dot normal. You can change that to like bold, black, extra bright, light, medium, semi bold, whatever. We'll just say normal. And then we'll call font posture. Posture equals font posture. So you don't use the new keyword there. Dot regular. Did I spell something wrong? Font pos. I'll use a capital. Font posture, no. Posture. Font posture. Posture. Oh, I use the new keyword. So just font posture dot regular. So then we'll say if bold checkbox, and we'll say, so we're saying if the bold checkbox is selected, so if it's clicked, the checkbox was clicked and it got marked, like someone clicked the checkbox, then we'll say weight equals font weight dot bold. So if bold checkbox dot is selected, we'll say weight equals font weight dot bold. Just spelled something wrong. Never access. Okay, that's weird. It's okay. So then we'll say if actually we can add some brackets here to make it clear. You don't have to, but you can. That looks cool, but I like my brackets like that. It's just easier to read for me. Some people might be different, but that's okay. So then if italic checkbox dot is selected, then we'll say posture dots font posture dot posture equal, oops, sorry, not dot. So no dot operator, use the equals, and we'll say font posture dot italic. After that, we'll just say phrase dot set font, then font dot font. It's a little bit tricky there. Then we'll say Helvetica. Weight, posture, and then 36. Actually, no, we'll change that to like 40. Yeah, so we changed that to 40. We changed Helvetica, same font that we said earlier. Did we change the font size? Yeah, we did. Why don't we change this to 42? We'll make the window a little bit bigger. Process check. That should be okay. So it's up to you if you want to put your braces like that. Doesn't really matter. But for me, if I'm trying to read it quickly from left to right, I can see that my if was there. My if opens there. I don't have to look here and then look back over there. So it's helpful to skim your code quicker. Depends if you like that or not. Again, I think we could have just called this E. Could have been fine. Can save you space, right? You don't have to write so many words. If you're writing E, whoops, what did I do there? If you're writing E many times, something like that, then it could save you time and space. Or you could write more code for the code that you're writing. That's okay. So after that, we'll just go to, like I do that for exceptions too. I just write them. If I write an exception, I just call it E. So then we'll go to the main class. We'll import JavaFX-application. ON. And then we'll import JavaFX.geometry.pos. Import JavaFX.scene.scene. And import JavaFX.stage.stage. So just public class main extends application. So most of these main classes will be the same if we're creating more than one class. They'll be like almost similar, like pretty much similar, except for a few things maybe. So we'll say style pane. We can call it root equals new style pane. Then we'll say root dot set alignment to pos dot center. Did I do something wrong there? No, root dot pane, root dot set alignment, root, yeah, new style pane, POS, import JavaFX.geometry.pos, public class main. Oh, sorry, I forgot the start method. So public void start. Yeah, so sorry, don't forget that. I'm just looking at my notes here, so that's why, because I already wrote this down. So stage, primary stage. We'll open the bracket. That should work now. We'll say stage primary. We'll create a private stage. Call it primary stage. And then we'll say this dot primary stage equals to primary stage. We'll just type it out. This dot primary stage equals to primary stage. Root dot set alignment. What else are we doing here? So we'll set the style. Root dot set style. It takes a string with a formatter inside. So fx background dash, I think, yeah, then color, that shift semicolon. Then we'll just say like green, Actually, cyan looks pretty good for Windows stuff, so we'll say cyan if that works. Then we'll say, or I guess if you're using a Mac or Linux, looks good too. So scene equals new scene. We'll pass in root, and then we'll just pass in 500 by 200 pixels. And then we'll just set the title, primary stage dot set title, bold, italic, widget. Then we'll just say primary stage dot set scene. We'll pass in scene. Whoops. Scene, and then we'll display it to the window, to the monitor. So primary stage dot show. That should work. Save and run it, and it should work. Unless there's an error. Yes, there is an error. Now it should work, hopefully. "21 bold checkbox dot set." Oh, I spelled it wrong. It doesn't even tell you. I guess it doesn't know exactly everything, but it can try to tell you the line. Italic checkbox dot set on action. Italic capital. There we go. Should work now. Alright, so it works. So when you hit run, you should see a window pop up on the screen. You can't see mine because it only have a game recorder, so it only records one window at a time. But there should be a window, should be like a cyan color, and then when you click the checkboxes, it'll change to bold or italic. So bold, italic, or you can do bold and italic, and the text is going to change. You can resize the window, you can minimize it, maximize it, and close it. So I hope that helps, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.